Welcome to the pod.
Hello.
So happy to have you.
I've been told that I have a really good radio voice.
I was going to tell you that you sound like Charlie Marlow. Do you know who this is? You remind me so much of her in the best way. I mean this as a compliment, truly. I love her videos, and she's so fetching funny to me.
The deadliest predators known to man. I throw a rock in her face. A big, fat rock.
Like, you give me Charlie Marlow vibes in the best way.
I need to be a TikToker, honestly.
Why don't you introduce yourself? Your name, your social security number, your your bank, passport number, ID, address, mother's maiden name,
How much cash you have in your wallet.
your net worth.
Yeah.
You know, before I go through the trouble of stealing your identity,
Right.
I want to know if it's going to be worth it for me.
No, for sure. For sure.
And then also tell us how we met.
Okay.
Are we kidding? Oh my gosh, I love that.
My name is Kyra. I'm 26 years old. I am a senior at Utah Valley University studying business management with minor in event planning. Me and Nikki know each other because we both worked at the LDS Church headquarters in Salt Lake. We were both at church communication department, and it was just fate that brought us together.
It was. I needed
So-
all of the tea on her department,
Yeah.
and I found her name, thought this is my girl, and then we met, instantly became besties.
Yeah.
We met at an Olive Garden, which is, I think, where any true friendship is
We
made.
broke bread. That's pretty good.
Over the Toscano soup and the garlic bread.
So good. It was a good time. We were there for a while.
Yeah.
Just chatting.
Chatting away. You know when you just vibe with someone, when you just straight up vibe? I was vibing so hard.
Yeah.
And I was fangirling a little bit. Just
Aw.
with your story and everything. I was
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, you would be perfect for the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Now here we are. We have since not only broken bread, but broken chicken.
Chicken, yes.
And I'm very excited to talk to you today about our main topic. The divorce. Divorce! Boop, boop, boop. Meow, meow, meow.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So we're gonna be chatting it up all about divorce.
I've lived it, survived it.
Powered through. Any more of a little tease on that?
Denial is a river in Egypt. Your husband is gay.
Stay tuned because we will be getting to that in the middle of the pod. But first, as always, we must discuss what is most important to me, which is what you've been watching.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I just saw Owning Manhattan on Netflix.
Okay.
Exquisite.
Hey.
Exquisite reality TV. It was so good. Because, like, if you've seen, like, Selling Sunset or things like that, you just know it's super scripted, right? And with this one, it was just more raw. The guy that, like, owns the company, he just, like, called people out for their craft. That one's really fun. I also watch a lot of Sister Wives.
I freaking love Sister Wives. My brother went to high school with the daughter, and, you know, obviously some of the other kids before they got kicked out. I know where their house is. It has multiple entrances because it had the different units
right.
in it. So there was a
Yeah.
lot of doors to like
Yeah.
lead into each person's separate unit.
Isn't it weird to think that there's probably like polygamous church buildings places around here? Because, I mean, they're like local. You feel me? Like if you look at the FLDS, some of their church buildings are very similar to ours. It's very weird. And I don't know if it's just because
They're branched off. Yeah.
Right. I don't know if they like copy from what the church does to try to make it look more normal, right?
Yeah.
Like so it doesn't stand out. Isn't that weird?
I wonder if it's because we're so closely related, but also vastly different that it sparks my interest. I mean,
Yeah.
I used to love watching Escaping Polygamy.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Big into Sister Wives. Was a big TLC
TLC.
girly. TLC. Yeah, there was just something about it. But I still, even with all that, I really don't know that much.
Yeah.
It's like saying I'm watching Breaking Amish to learn about the Amish. Like, probably...
For sure.
Probably not the best interpretation of that religion, you know?
For sure.
The Amish also very much interests me.
I grew up in PA, so
Oh,
like
yeah.
the Amish, yeah, they're very big there.
The products that they make and the
They're
food.
exquisite.
Amazing.
Everything that they do is done to a T. It's gonna last for 100 years. It's super well made and everything, like super durable, and
They know what they're doing.
they know what they're doing. It was funny, even in our freaking home ec class that we had in high school,
Yeah.
we made Amish food.
Really?
Yeah, they were just like, yeah, we're gonna create these Amish like dishes because it's like local to the area. It was good.
That sounds delightful. Okay, sorry. Back to
No, you're
Sister
good.
Wives.
Yeah.
Haven't they all like gotten divorced now?
Yeah, except for Robin.
There's the only one.
Snotty Robin, yeah.
Oh
my gosh. Okay, I was watching it literally this morning. Her daughters piss me off because they are such manipulators. They're using the language that their mom uses. And then you cut to like the other kids talking about it and it's just authentic. So it's really sad to see the family obliterated, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, you go, girls. Like, you leave that trash back. And I think because I was married before, and not that my ex-husband was anything like...
Cody.
Yeah, but you know what it's like to finally find your perfect person. Freaking feel like you're not in fight or flight, you know? So I almost live vicariously. Like, whenever I'm at a couch, it's like, okay, let's be grateful again.
Nothing like watching other people's lives destroyed to be grateful for your own.
For sure. It really brings the tender mercies to
To the
alignment.
forefront.
Yeah. Life ain't that bad.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
See, if you only look below, you never feel like you have to look above.
They say comparison is the thief of joy, but I think they're only talking about the
looking
above.
too hot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe only look like $20,000 above your pay grade. You know,
Yeah.
like that is probably the bulk of like where you want to look, and then look like 50 below you. And there you go. That's how you keep it balanced.
That's a good range.
Yeah.
Keep you humble. Anything else that you've been watching?
A bunch of like M. Night Shyamalan movies coming out, and I love like horror and stuff like that. Me and Kyle both love it. We love haunted houses. I think it's an East Coast thing again. I love roller coasters. Like, I love a thrill. Honestly, instead of going somewhere for my graduation, like tropical or whatever, I want to go to Six Flags, a big amusement park, for like a week. And I want to like ball out, get like fast pass it. You feel me? And I don't know where it ever came from. Some of my family members like it, but a lot of them don't. Like, it's not like my parents ever watched that stuff.
Yeah.
But I just love it. You know what? Actually, I think it also might be that my mom and I would always watch true crime documentaries together. And she would have an encyclopedia of serial killers in the house and like the Anne Rule books. My mom just loves true crime. And I think I just took it to a different level. So me and Kyle own a lot of horror movies and things like that. I don't watch like demonic things. Like, there's a big difference between like haunting and Satan praising. If it's feeling too dark, I don't want that in my house. But I love a good like, you know what I mean? Get this. We almost got sealed on October 31st. We couldn't because it was on a Sunday. So we got sealed on October 30th. I want kids to be born in October so that I can throw Halloween birthday parties. That's how much I love it.
Wow, I really enjoy meeting people that are horror people.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't be further from that.
I feel like you would look at me and not think that either.
I would not think that.
Yeah. No, I love it.
That's surprising information.
Yeah.
But honestly, good for you.
Thanks,
I love that for you. I have the tolerance of about a 5-year-old. Here's my personal take on it, is why I don't think I like it. I'm a lucid dreamer. I've always been that way.
Gastro.
Beam up 39.
A Heaven's Gate reference if he didn't know.
This is gonna be, just a fun fact for everybody. I'm a lucid dreamer, which there's like a very big range when it comes to that term.
Okay.
Mine is I can control my dreams, so I'll have the same dream for like weeks on end. You can think of it as like I decide which movie I'm gonna play that night, and then I'll put it in, and then I'll edit. A scene will play out, and then I'll be like, cut. Let's actually change this part. I want you to say this instead. I'll do that over and over and over and over again. I get very obsessive about it. My dreams are extremely detailed.
Wow.
And I don't know, I've told this to people before, and they're like, wow, you must be able to do anything in your dreams.
Shadow people.
Yeah, no, you have to be very, very, very close to me for me to actually tell you what I dream about.
Interesting.
Because it's kind of embarrassing.
I like die a lot in my dreams. I've had a lot where like I get stabbed or shot a a lot.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Well, that plays into my nightmare thing. Okay. So normally.
Oh, are your nightmares super intense?
Yes. Normally, when I'm just in a very good headspace, my normal every day to day, I have my dreams and I'll wake up in the morning and then I'll daydream about what I dreamed about to like kind of add to the storyline, and it'll last usually like 2 or 3 weeks. I'll have the same dream, same daydream, and just like edit.
That totally makes sense why you want to stay away from...
Yeah. When I'm stressed at all, I cannot control my dreams. So that's why I know when I'm stressed. I'm very aware of when I am not in a good mental space.
Interesting.
Because it completely affects my dreams. And I have trypophobia, which is an image-based phobia. So, like, different images and visuals and, like, anything creepy or disturbing in any way.
It just, like, freaks you out.
I will remember that forever. And my nightmares play like movies as well. So I have, like, designated nightmares from when I was a kid that play out now when I'm an adult. And I cannot control it at all. And I'm very in it. And I'm aware that I'm dreaming.
Yeah.
But that almost makes it worse because I can't do anything about it. And I know how it's gonna end and I know what's gonna happen. My coworkers, they know very well. They'll usually start up a conversation, you know, and if it is disturbing or creepy or just anything in any way, I literally have to walk away.
Wow.
Because literally like a 5-year-old, I will have nightmares.
Wow.
Terrible, horrible nightmares. And then it's not out of my head during the day because they're so detailed. It'll enter my daydreams. It'll ruin my day. So when I am super stressed about stuff, it's awful. It's horrible. And I have to really check in with myself when I start having nightmares. Now we're gonna get to what I think about myself because I think everything about ourselves has a higher meaning, okay? I do not use it in the way that I feel like it was meant to be intended. I do think that I am capable of having visions.
Okay.
Because of my dreams. I have had dreams before that felt like I was having a vision. God must be really frustrated with me because I waste it. Like this gift that he's given me where it's like I have this potential to really be like a visionary person.
Sure.
And I very underutilize my gift.
That's so funny.
That's my theory behind why I'm a lucid dreamer is I actually think that somewhere deep inside me, I possess that.
Well, because I was thinking, I wonder what it is that, like, your brain does that. Yeah, I totally think that there's, maybe some people just have certain things unlocked more than others.
I think it's my superpower.
There you go.
But that's why I can't watch anything horror.
It totally
because of
makes
that.
sense.
But I love that for you, though.
Thank you. It is an enjoyable pastime for me. I do love it. I love that my spouse loves it. I love that him and I have this, like, common interest.
Anything else? Any other things you want to talk about that you've watched, read?
No.
No?
Not really.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. Then this segment is complete.
There you go.
Drum roll, everybody. It is now time for the main event. Let's start off with you sharing a bit about your life and your mindset at the time that you decided to get married the first time.
I was 18 when I met my ex-husband. It was at the singles ward in Pennsylvania. I had just come out of years of isolation with my ward and kind of in life. There was just a lot of drama. I think that was the first reason why I ever dated him, was just because it was like, finally someone likes me for me. And he was LDS, right? Because I was dating someone when I met him and I actually broke up with the guy.
Really?
Yeah. I always feel guilty about that. But I do know it was the experience that I needed to have to, like, become who I am now. It was very much needed for my life journey. Him and I got married at 19.
Both of you were 19?
No, I was 19. I can't remember how much older he was than me. I think he was maybe like 22. The reason that I did it was because I wanted to do the right thing. And all my life at church, it was talked about the most, getting sealed in the temple, but not what comes after that. It felt like a finishing line, not the starting line to a marathon. So it felt like my life will be complete. It'll just be figured out. It'll just be good, right? Yeah. Celestial kingdom, here I come, you know, in like a month. Like, that's kind of how you think. I felt like life wouldn't start until marriage too. I wanted stability and community after years of being isolated. It's interesting because I talked to my mom about this actually, and she was saying that, like, she never talked about that at home. Like, she never made it feel like that was the goal, right? I mean, I don't want that to sound bad. Like, I came up in an LDS family, like, temple marriage is, like, very important. But it was not like my mom was the one pushing that. Like, it was young women's.
Yes.
Right? Because that was, you're just very impressionable. And I think they just don't always go about it in the right way. Like, it literally felt like that was your goal. And that was it. Like, that is what you're
preparing for marriage.
And it almost, I think for me, I internalized it as, like, that is how I show Heavenly Father that, like, I want to be with him, is getting sealed in the temple. I was just at a point in my life where, like, I wanted to be closer to Heavenly Father. And I think, like, subconsciously, it was like, okay, if I do this, like, I will be closer to him. Because at that time, people weren't as openly talking about going to the temple just before they, like, got married and stuff. Like, that just wasn't happening quite then. Because it was 2016. So, like, people started to, but it wasn't as big as it is now, right? But yeah, so that was kind of the beginning of everything. So I was a baby, just wanted to do what was right.
What were some of the biggest challenges that you faced once you were married? Because you had this narrative that, like, oh, well, everything's going to be great and good, and I've crossed the finish line. Amazing.
Right.
Life is just going to fall into place. Sure, we might have hardship with, like, air quotes. You have no idea what that is, but you're like, but we'll get through it. That's definitely the narrative that, like, we grow up learning.
Yes.
And there's no specifics that are given at all. It's all general.
Yes.
Which I personally, in my line of work, find very harmful and see the harmful effects of that now, you know, with the clients that I work with.
Yeah.
What were some of those hardships that you were like, nobody told me about this?
Combining finances, just figuring out how to finance, how to live, because neither of us had college degrees. I was working 2 jobs and he wanted to be a basketball coach. It was just a mess. So I think that caused a lot of hardship. We had to get, like, assistance from the church because it was so bad. So I think that was really hard. And honestly, I believe that he never wanted a wife. Like, he never wanted a partner. He wanted a mom to take care of him that wasn't his mom, because I think he, like, hates his mom deep down. He has a lot of issues, but that's okay. Not my problem. And I think learning that lesson too, there's a big difference in being partners in a marriage and not looking at each other like, this is your responsibility and this is your responsibility, but really meshing and being like, we're in this together. We are gonna do everything together. In my first marriage, it was very much, you cook, you clean. I don't have to do anything. I even had to be the freaking breadwinner. It was just bad. I think that was, like, a big part that helped me leave, was, like, the instability of finance and, like, just having him be so horrible. The house would not get cleaned if I did not clean.
I also wanted to know what your family and friends, their reaction to you getting married. Did they like your husband?
No.
Tell me why. Set this up for us.
Okay, so one thing that was big about it was, like, my mom really wanted me to marry a return missionary. But guess what? Kyle is my husband now. Not a return missionary. He never went. But my mom loves him. But that was big for her. I feel like a lot of the idea of return missionary is, like, they are knowledgeable in the priesthood, in the scriptures. They should be doing better than they were when they left, right?
Right.
Like, that's, like, the hope.
Strong hope.
Yeah. And you know what? I think that's a great goal. Like, it is great, but at the same time, it's like, a mission isn't a celestial ordinance.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, my family did not like him. I think my mom also just could tell right away that he was manipulative, not a good person. And because I was just so, like, isolated for so long, it was more for me, like, a comfort blanket. Like, okay, at least I can have this person outside of my family that cares about me and, like, thinks I'm great, you know?
Yeah.
And that was kind of, like, my whole family's feeling.
So you knew that they didn't like him?
Yep.
Do you just, like, ignore that? Because I've definitely had so many friends where I don't like the person that they're dating.
Right.
You know?
Yep.
I express that in the best ways that I know how. And they just genuinely will not listen. And so then it becomes this line as a friend where it's like, well, I'm not going to lose my friend. I want them to know that I'm here for them no matter what.
Right.
And they're not in a position where they're going to listen to me.
Right.
So I'm just going to try and be supportive. And it sucks because it's like, I don't want them to have to go into something that I feel so strongly is going to fall apart.
So here's my thing with that. I believe that for me, I am a person, this is just how I was in the premortal life and how I will always be. I have to learn things the hard way. I have to learn it through like my own experience, and sometimes just someone telling me something, that's not enough for me. And I also think that I needed to get married to this specific person and get divorced from him. I really think that that was just like part of my path, because it helped me to really appreciate Kyle. Because I think if I hadn't experienced that with my ex-husband, I would never appreciate Kyle to the amount that I do and that I need to. And honestly, I was very bratty. Like, I just never cared about how they felt. It was just like me. That's all I cared about. And so going through that experience, it helped me see what was really out there. And what was great was that, yes, my parents and my family warned me and told me, but something that really helped me to leave him was actually that I could remember that my family set up for my wedding ceremony with him and decorated. Just that act of service and love towards me, that they were doing it because they loved me. Because when you're in an abusive marriage especially, you just are so sad. You don't feel loved. Like, you feel horribly alone. And it was almost like this spirit being like, this is what love is. It helped me to see love in a different way. I mean, again, I was 19. I was a child, you know, child bride. I think people like me that have to go through things, sometimes they don't listen when it's time to leave. And that's where the issue comes in. It takes a lot of guts to say, I messed up. I'm gonna backtrack and like get out of here. It takes a lot of guts. There's a lot of what ifs. There's a lot of fear of the unknown. There's a lot of mourning. Because obviously if you get married to someone, like, you do love them, you know? And I wish that it could have been what I thought it was. I mean, not that I like love him now. That's not what I'm saying. But you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you're saying.
Okay. I left him for like a month before we got back together for a little bit, because our branch president, to my ex-husband, he was like, you have a temple marriage. This is not okay to just like walk away. Like, you need to go be a husband to your wife, basically. Right? Okay. Like, much respect for that guy. Honestly, getting back together for the few months after that we did, it helped me to take out any what ifs out of the divorce. And that was really, I'm very grateful for that, because I think some people, like, the what ifs are really why they stay. Like, that's a very scary part. I think mentally that people don't always talk about. Like, it can be deafening when you have all these what ifs in your mind. Like, how am I gonna provide for myself? What if nobody wants me? Am I too damaged? This person that I've married and loved, they don't want me, so is that gonna happen again? Like, I don't want this. There's just so much.
How did you get to a point where you were okay to jump into the what ifs?
Yeah. When we were first married for the first 8 months, we were in Philadelphia and then we moved to Idaho. So when we were driving across country to Idaho, I drove like 90% of the time. He refused to let me have on music because he was sleeping, because he was like depressed or whatever. He was just being horrible to me the entire time. Would not come down to breakfast at the hotel with me. You know, I really feel like this is a great example of like, so people like me just need these experiences, because Heavenly Father, I feel like he talks to me through like thoughts in my mind, inputs these thoughts. I'm like, yeah, that's a little too good. That's not me. Like, that's, you know?
Yeah, I wouldn't have that thought. Yeah.
I feel like Heavenly Father kind of was like, he's dead weight, Kyra. I'm like, yeah, he is. You know, like we were like in Wyoming. In the bluffs of, you know, Wyoming, and there's nothing there. And I just kind of look over at him and I'm just like, you piece of crap. and like, I was just like, you're dead weight. It kind of goes back to, why don't people like listen? You know, we have to learn for ourselves sometimes that like, oh, they are dead weight. Like, this isn't good. Like, this isn't maybe the best person for me. Yeah. So it just took that experience for me to be like, I can do this alone. Because I basically was with literally dead weight beside me. You know what I mean? That really helped me to be like, yeah, we could do this. So you want to know how I left?
Yes.
We were in BYU, Idaho.
Okay.
He comes home one day and he brings me this pumpkin chocolate chip bread. I love pumpkin. And he brings it to me and he's like, oh, I got this for you. Oh, I'm going to go like play basketball with the guys. And in that moment, I knew he was manipulating me. The only reason you did this was to go do what you wanted to. Like, it was not out of love or kindness or anything. It was to like manipulate, right?
To get what you want.
Yeah. It was almost like not normal thoughts that I would have. It was like, bing, like that's happening. So then I had a dream like a few nights after that. And in this dream, there was a crossroads in whatever road I was in. I heard Heavenly Father's voice, and he was like, Kyra, you have a choice right now. If you stay, you will be pregnant and you will have a child. Or you could leave and start a new life. The choice is yours. But this will happen if you stay. Like, it was very much like, this will happen if you stay, but you can leave with your agency. That was the only time in my life I ever, like, audibly heard a voice of God in a dream like that. Wow. So that was super cool. And I do think that people that need to leave, Heavenly Father knows that they need to leave. It might not be exactly what I had, but I think it's like, you know if you're supposed to leave, and it is your choice. You know what I mean? Like, he does not take that agency away. And I am grateful every single day for little me for leaving when I did, because I'm so grateful that my husband does not have to have any sort of contact with my ex, or that I don't have to. Grateful that I don't have to share custody of a kid with my ex-husband. Just so many things were tender mercies, I guess, because I chose to listen the first time. That's kind of where, like, I differ from some people where, like, they'll stay. The what ifs are almost too scary. And for me, it liberated me. But I also had a mom that she never made divorce a bad thing. It was always a good thing. And especially coming from, like, an LDS background where, like, that is a temple marriage. Yeah. You know? And having my mom be the one that's like, it is okay. I think that's been a big help after the divorce, because I was alone. Like, I lived in Utah. I didn't have my mom here, right? Like, I was going through my divorce completely isolated. And that was really nice to have my mom just, like, make it a positive rather than a negative. So that really helped me to view it as the positive that it was. It's like, you get to go basically have a do-over with all this knowledge now. Isn't that, like, what this life is for? To make those mistakes, get that knowledge, and then you can make better decisions. For some people like me, you just have to kind of gather that information and really have it, like, cement through experience, not just being told.
You said to me when we were talking about your divorce, and I had asked you, how did you make that choice? And you said something that I wrote down. It was, like, so deeply profound. I don't know if you remember this.
No, tell me.
But you said, I knew it was right because I knew it was wrong.
Oh, yeah. There's a big difference between just having a hard marriage where, like, you're figuring each other out for the first little bit, and, like, maybe you have disagreements or whatever. And then there's, like, it is wrong to your core. You know down that this is not where you should be. You know what it was, too? Along with that, I knew that I would never reach not only potential, but, like, what I was sent here on earth to do with him. Like, I knew it, but I know that with Kyle, I am doing them, and I think that's a big thing, too, that who your spouse is truly dictates your life. And again, 19-year-old, you don't think about that.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk really quick about your ex-husband being gay.
Gay? Yeah, that was wild.
So, at what point did you know? Did he confess that to you?
Yeah. There was just always, like, turmoil. This is what was kind of hard about it at first to accept, because he was super into sports. Like, you just never would have thought that about him. I think he, like, buried it so deep, you just literally wouldn't know. And he was, like, obsessed with me. And as a 19-year-old girl, that's what you think. You know what I mean? Like, you think that's healthy. You know what I mean? It is not.
You think that's healthy? I think that is just such a great phrase about anything when you're, like, 19 to 23. You think that's healthy.
Yeah. It is not.
Until that frontal lobe closes.
No, I'm telling you, 25, it's like, bing, and, like, it's like a third eye opens, you know?
Running on all cylinders here, people. We got new staff employed.
Yeah, for sure.
Crazy. Okay, continue.
So, yeah, so, like, just didn't know. I had no inkling until the first wedding night, where that boy did not want to do anything. The very, very first time.
Your wedding night.
Yes. The very first time. I swear it was Heavenly Father just being like, Kyra, I'm so sorry for what you're about to endure. First time was like, yeah, it was a good experience. Like, it wasn't horrible. When it was like, time to go again. Nope. Took a shower, went to bed. Like, didn't let me, like, hang out with him. Literally, like, went in the other room. Get this. We went on our honeymoon to the Poconos. There was no reception up there. So it was like, you just go and hang out. And you're together. Okay, two things that's funny. I'm not saying it didn't happen ever again, but like, no. And then, instead of spending time together, it was like he was going to go watch the game, and he made me go on our romantic horseback riding lesson with the instructor, and he just, like, dropped me off and went and watched the game and walked away.
No.
Like, just didn't want to be around me. He needed to be around the men. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about?
But did you have an inkling? Like, why doesn't he want to have sex with me?
He made me feel like it was because of my body. Like, he made me feel like it was because I was, like, fat. This is what was crazy. This is what's really sad. I was a size, like, 0, basically, when I met him. When we got married, I maybe was, like, a size 3. Really, I gained the weight because of stress. But, like, I was a 3 when we got married, right? He made me feel like I was a hippopotamus. He would literally grab at my extra skin on my body and be like, what's that? If I would open up a Coke or a soda, he'd be like, there goes another one. Oh, horrible, horrible. One time I was crying in the shower because I just wanted him to connect with me. He literally came and like dumped Gatorade on my head. We were at Christmas dinner that December. His grandfather asked in front of everybody if I still fit in my wedding dress, and my ex-husband said no. And they like wouldn't allow me to have seconds. Like, it was like a whole thing. And I was not big. Like, I wasn't. But his like mom had an eating disorder. Like, a very, very abusive family altogether. You know what I mean? Like, it was really bad. So I thought it was my body for the longest time, but it was because he was gay.
I am in actual shock right now.
No, I'm telling you, it literally, like, to this day, I am trying to lose the weight of how that felt. Like, those, like, feelings and words. Because I was never fat. I was always thin, always growing up. Here's another thing what really was sad. I turned to food. I would just cry and sit on the couch, and because we were poor, I would go to Walmart, and they had, like, dollar cupcakes that were, like, a little bigger. I would get, like, 2 of those, literally sit there and inhale it. Because I was trying to feel something, right?
Yes.
And so it, like, that was kind of like the start of like the comfort of food. When I left him, I was definitely a lot bigger than when we were first married, because it was my way of surviving and comforting myself, because I wasn't gonna cheat. I wasn't gonna like go seek solace in someone else. You know what they call it when girls turn to food, like an addicted to food? They call it the good girl drug, because you're not gonna go do drugs, you're not gonna smoke, like, it's food. Isn't that so interesting? Yeah. So, okay, let me get to like where I found out.
Yes.
He slept on the couch one night after a lot of fighting was done. And then in the morning, he like comes into the room and he's like, I need to tell you something. I think I thought he was going to say like he was molested as a child or something. He like comes into the bed with me and I'm hugging him and I'm like, okay, what is it? And he's just like quiet for a little bit. And then he goes, I think I'm gay. And I didn't say this to him, but in my head I was like, oh, that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Literally.
Everything
clicked. Yes, I was like, oh, so it's not me, it's you. Okay, you know? So he says that. I just responded very kindly. I don't remember what it was exactly. I don't remember. But it was like very gentle. Probably a great experience for him to come out to me. Honestly. And then it was like his time to like tell his family. And I wasn't around at this point. Like, I had actually left. Not soon after he said that, because like, I'm not gonna stick around, you know what I mean? But we did kind of that thing where it was like, let's try to be friends. It was such a sweet him coming out to me moment. I don't know, I think it was like we didn't want to lose each other. Like, we had been really good friends before we got married and stuff. And I think it was my way of trying to like hold on to like these simple covenants and be, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Did he say that he didn't want to be married at that point?
No. He didn't say that.
Yeah.
That was like my choice to like leave the house. I wasn't around when he told his mom or his friends. He's telling me that, like, when he told his mom was like, well, how am I going to tell my friends? Yeah. I think it, like, pushed him back into the closet. And that's why he ended up listening to that branch president of, like, and then, like, thinking he could, like, hide it again, you know? Because he didn't tell. I think he only told me, his mom, and, like, his best friend. And that was it at that point. Even after he told me, though, we got back together after that, actually. And it was kind of this thing that we didn't really talk about. But, like, it was crazy because we actually went to counseling because of that branch president. Like, it was kind of like, you guys need to go to counseling. We went to a counselor, but he told me I wasn't allowed to tell the counselor what he had told me. So we're, like, in counseling, and it's like, I mean, the elephant in the room is sitting right next to me, but I can't say anything, you know? Like, it was crazy.
The rainbow elephant.
Yeah, the rainbow elephant, yep. And it's so interesting because I looked back to that because there was, like, a questionnaire that you filled out, I can't remember what it was, but basically just asking like how committed you are, like kind of feelings that you have. And I was like dinging all like the low ones until it got to like, how committed are you to like not getting divorced or something? And I put, I don't want to be, right? Like, I took my temple covenants very seriously. And that's why I'm grateful for my mom.
I want to know about the transition from you finally make the decision, you're like, I can do this,
Okay.
I can leave.
Okay.
Now you go from being 19 and married
Yeah.
to moving to Utah by yourself, being a divorcee, going...
Big scarlet letter on my chest.
How was that transition? Going from living with a spouse to now you live... Did you live with roommates?
Yeah.
And going back to a life that you never thought you would have again.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
also, you're still so young.
Right.
So you're experiencing things for the first time, but you're experiencing them as someone who's divorced. Like, I just genuinely can't imagine how difficult that would be to have been in a marriage and then now just like, oh, I guess I'm gonna go back to the singles ward.
Like, yeah, that was fun. My gosh. When I first moved here, church was like the hardest because I was told I wasn't allowed to go to the singles ward. I had to go to the family ward.
By who? Who told you that?
Some bishop or something. I can't remember who said that, but like someone said that to me.
Oh my
and
gosh.
I was like, so I went one Sunday to the family ward. You know, people are like, where's your husband? You know, how do you say that? He's gay and I left him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it was just really hard because I actually lived here for 6 months before the divorce was finalized. So it was lonely. You know, I was alone. I couldn't date. I mean, I'm married, you know, on paper. I remember the Christmas after I left. So I left like a week before October in 2018. And that Christmas, both my roommates were gone. And I was just like on the floor in my room and I got a pillow and I just screamed. Like I cried because it was just the loneliness, the grief of losing a marriage, right? Like I think that was a big thing too. Like it's okay to grieve what you thought and wanted it to be. And that this person treated you horribly. That you literally were treated like trash. Like that is something to grieve. That's how you get it out. You scream, cry. You just very lonely time. But I immediately got a job. Literally within like 2 days I was here, I found a job and I started working. My roommates, they were amazing roommates. Like I really think the Lord put me with like the best people. They didn't judge. We had a great time together. My one roommate and I that like we're still super close. Like I see her pretty often. It's been fun to kind of reminisce and be like, wow, look at where I've come. Once the divorce was finalized, it was like 4 months after that I met my husband, Kyle. We dated for 4 months and then broke up and then didn't get back together for a year. After Kyle broke up with me, that was when I finally was done with my ex-husband. This is so embarrassing, but listen to this. Oh, okay. I would have photos up in my apartment of me in my wedding dress. Not with him, but like with family. And I'd have people over. It was almost like you're like wanting people to like connect. This is really embarrassing, but I would like open up the photo book of all the photos of my wedding and stuff and like show it to Kyle and like cry about it. And it was funny that like right after Kyle broke up with me, something snapped in me. It was like this is the guy. This is the kind of person that you want to be with, not your ex. And it was never about like wanting to be with my ex again. It was again like grieving. Yeah, after Kyle dumped me, I ripped those up so fast, man. I think that was like another good experience. Again, for me to experience what an amazing person Kyle was and just to feel so safe and just like he was my soulmate. Just to feel that from somebody, that helped me to finally rip the Band-Aid off and be like, we're done grieving about this. Like this is in the past. We're gonna move on to our future.
How was it getting back into dating?
It's rough here in Utah.
I can't even imagine.
You feel that they feel weird. Like they just don't know how to handle it. And also I think what helped me was I didn't marry a Utah boy. Kyle is from the East Coast. He didn't grow up LDS. Kyle was the person for me. And that these other people that I was trying to like connect with and date just wasn't it. Like it was rough. Get this. This is what's so funny. The first date I had with Kyle, he wanted to take me to Dave & Buster's, but I had just had like rejection after rejection after rejection prior to him. He's so sweet. He's like, I'm gonna go get an oil change and like just let you think about it, but I'd really like to take you out. And so I was like, okay. But we didn't go to Dave & Buster's, but it was cute. We went on a little walk, and as he's like driving us to like the park where we walked, he was telling me his conversion story and stuff. I just instantly fell in love with him. I was like, oh my gosh, yeah. We had our first kiss that night. Like he's perfect, but it was really honestly horrible until Kyle.
Did you lead with I'm divorced, or
all the time? Because
is it easier to do that?
Yeah, and I'm just a blabbermouth. I just can't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I just literally don't know how to not share every detail of my. I mean, obviously I'm a pot. You know what I mean? Like, I have no filter. But I also, that's just me.
And Kyle reacted.
He didn't care. Literally, he was like, okay. Even now, my mom always tells him, like, it's so nice that we can, like, joke around about Kyra's first marriage. Like, you just joke around with us. So my ex-husband was, like, obsessed with basketball. He loved basketball more than he loved me. So Kyle does this, like, high fit workout in our living room, and they have, like, basketball shots that they, like, pretend to do in the high fit, and every time he's like, Kyra, your favorite one. Just fun things like that. Like, we always joke about it. He's just such a good sport about it. That's the biggest thing about Kyle, is that he didn't care when other people did. Yeah. And that was a big difference.
Okay, to end us here on this segment, I want to know, because now you are remarried to Kyle, the love of your life.
Yeah.
How did your first marriage affect your approach to your marriage now?
It was actually a learning curve for me, because I was so used to kind of making those decisions on my own, like being the only one in the marriage, basically, right? That I had to learn that, like, we're a team. Like, we make choices together, you know? He wants to do the dishes with me. Just, like, do the laundry together. Like, it's never, like, one person's sole responsibility. Also, trying to communicate better, like, because there was no communication in my first marriage. We both give each other grace and room to grow, but we also want to grow upwards together. Whereas, like, in my first marriage, it felt like we weren't equally yoked. I was constantly trying to pull him up, and he would drag me down harder, kind of a thing. Like, that's very much, like, how it felt. I don't know. Like, it's hard because there's so much I could say and give advice.
What would you say to someone that's in a bad relationship right now that has all those what ifs?
Yeah, but it's, like, scary to jump.
Yeah, terrified. Yeah.
Just that you can do it. It's literally the scariest thing you'll do, but future you will be so appreciative. Just jump and trust. I mean, if you believe in God, if you don't, whatever power you believe in will not allow you to fall. You might feel so sad and alone, but that's just a human experience. It's not God or whoever, like, leaving you. Surround yourself with people that will give you grace and love. Because honestly, I made a lot of mistakes when I was first getting divorced. I wish I hadn't done a lot of things that I did, because it's a very hard transition, especially in our culture, to go from being sexually active to nothing.
Yeah.
Jump now if you feel that you need to leave, because I think time is your best friend with that. The sooner that you do it, the better off you'll be. And I left by literally getting in the car in Idaho, and I drove away.
You just packed your bags.
Yes, we got in an argument, and I, like, called my mom, and I was like, Mom, I think it's over. And she was like, go live with your sister in Utah. I was like, okay. So I called my sister. I'm like, can I come live with you? And she was like, yeah. I took my ring off. I threw it in the bathroom. He was at school. I was just, like, gathering things, chucked it in the car, and I literally just drove off.
Wow.
And then he calls me. This is how I knew I made the right choice, too. You will always know that you made the right choice. He calls me, and I'm 2 hours away to, like, Pocatello, driving I-15. And he goes, where are you and where's the car? And I'm like, I'm leaving you. Like, I'm leaving you. And he goes, how am I going to get to basketball practice? I literally was like, I just made the best decision of my life. You know, and of course, like, I called my mom and I cried about that, you know, but, like, I knew that that was kind of the confirmation of you chose the right thing. If it's super abusive or, like, you're afraid for your life, definitely get, like, the extra help. Mm-hmm. But I was very lucky enough that I could just kind of flee. There was really no repercussions except getting a better life, so.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing your story. I am just so fascinated with people's lives and their stories and what makes people who they are. Yeah. You know, because we are shaped by our experiences. That's why when I met you and you went right into it, you were like, oh, and by the way.
You want to hear some tea?
Yeah.
I got lots, you know. Honestly, if we want to do one about, like, bullying in the church.
This is the girl to do it.
No, for real. Anything.
We probably should.
That would be really good. I have stories.
Oh, yeah, because you hinted at the beginning of your, like, isolation, you know, in your ward, and you've told me a little bit about that experience. But I think we should totally do that.
Because I'm serious, like, that is what shaped what had happened to, like, that is why I got married as young as I did. And I think that there's a lot more of it than people realize.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So. I think that would be a really good conversation because knowing what I know about you and like, your love for the gospel and getting resealed and all this stuff, but also like your traumatic church experiences. Yeah. I think it'd be very interesting for people to hear and listen to of like, wait, but how can you have those experiences but like still be where you are in the gospel? I have that conversation quite often myself because a lot of people are like, wait, how can you believe all these things about like sexuality, my line of work and all this stuff? But then I also am like, no, but I go to church. I think that's where we are friends, is because we're both very real about the faults.
Yeah.
And our role that we can play in helping bring about change.
Yeah.
And ultimately, our love of the gospel has everything to do with Jesus and not with
people.
Everything else. Yeah. Exactly.
I think sometimes people forget, like, they mesh, like, the culture of the church and, like, the church into one, and it's like,
It's very separate for me.
Yeah. And
very separate for me.
Yeah. I just love Jesus. Jesus is in charge.
The last segment is going to be hills you will die on. Should I start? Here's a hill I'll die on. This is a personal opinion, but I will defend it until the end of time because I believe so strongly in it, all right? Being pickled is its worst form. Meaning, like, a cucumber in a pickled form being a pickle, that's its worst form it could be.
Interesting.
If something is pickled, I don't want it, for one, because I hate anything pickled.
Yeah.
But to me, I just can't understand intellectually why we would ruin all of these things by pickling them.
No, I agree.
You know?
Because at first I thought you were going to say, like, oh, I love it. And I was like, think about, like, pickled eggs. That's just
No, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Yes, no,
like,
sick.
that is its worst form that you could possibly take food to. It's pickled. Yeah, why are we doing this to
these, like, flavorless things, they're like, let's just drown it.
Let's drown it in vinegar.
Drown it in vinegar and see what it does. It kill us? We don't know. We'll find out. Maybe it was like a joke.
Yeah, I don't like anything pickled, anything with vinegar.
Yeah, it just
where I can taste the vinegar. I'm out, instantly out.
I respect that.
But even something pickled in a jar, the look of it, visually,
unappealing.
Yeah, food I don't think should be pickled, and I'll stand by that.
Yeah, as you should. As you should.
Okay, go for yours.
Okay, the hill I will die on is gossiping is not the same as observing and describing one's behavior. And this is what I mean. When you are describing and observing, it is in, like, your closest circle. Gossiping is when you, like, go out of that circle and you mean to, like, harm that person's reputation.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Because I'm all for being in the know.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to be...
tea,
for
right?
Sure.
Like, that's what I think. Like, spilling the tea is, like, with your closest inner circle.
Yes.
Gossiping is, like, right with bullying. You feel me? If I have beef with someone, I'm talking to my closest circle about it, and it is not leaving there. You make sure that text sent to that person, not some... You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, you're very intentional about keeping it in your circle to vent, and you don't let it get back to the person because you don't want to hurt them. Gossiping is opposite of that, where you're actively giving people information that shouldn't have it, making this person look bad to hurt them.
Yes. It's all about your intent.
It's all about the intent. And I think a good point with this podcast, right? Like, I never said my ex-husband's name. Mm-hmm. And if I did, you're going to cut it out.
Yes, yeah.
But, like, I am not trying to hurt him.
Yes.
I'm just sharing my experience without dragging him into it, because people don't need to judge him for his choices. That's God's job, you know? And gossiping is like, you're making people judge that person.
Based on your experience.
Yeah.
Yeah? Do you want to do, like, one more?
Go
or
first.
do you have any, like, pet peeves?
This is my thing. I don't care enough about people to have pet peeves. Like, I really don't.
Honestly, what a good way to live. Because I'm constantly getting irked. Irking away. About every little thing that happens. And honestly, it's not that significant. I feel like for me, I just need to voice it, and then it's okay. Like, I'm over it, sort of.
Also, here's the thing. I grew up in a huge family. I can tune out like no other. Literally. And I think that's what it is. Like, I don't... Maybe it's not that I don't care. Maybe it's literally that, like, it just doesn't even, like,
doesn't even register.
So I'm probably people's pet peeve. Like, I know I'm Kyle's because I'll, like, pick up my hands or, like, I'll, like, mess with my hair, whatever. And he's like, Kyra, stop it. And he grew up in a very small family, right? They all talk quiet. They're all very... Me, loud as can be.
And see, maybe it's because I was the only girl. I don't know if that has anything to play into it.
Like a sister or something to, like, voice those feelings with.
Yes.
Like,
and it was 3 against 1.
Right.
You know, my brothers all have, like, opinions. And I'm like, but don't we feel this way? And they were
Yeah.
like, no. So now in my adulthood, I'm like,
Everything's
guys.
just magnified. You're like, you're not
Let
doing what I want you to do. You know?
Let me tell you what I think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was so fabulous. To end the pod, I have a little sign off.
Oh.
And I always have my guests do it.
Thanks for listening to our thoughts on life, because this has been Life According to Nikki. Okay, you want to know something so funny?
Yes.
The other day, forget who I tell, I just blurted it out with my coworkers, because we like have an office. I just was like, my ex-husband finally came out of the closet or something, and they were like, what? Like the looks, I wish I could have recorded it. They were like, I was like, oh, I didn't tell you. Yeah, that was a thing. Like, it was so funny.
Like,
They were like, just the way you said it so casually. I was like,
well, when you live it, when it's like your reality,
it's like no biggie.
yeah, it's no biggie. It was super traumatizing, but like no biggie now.
Only stunted my growth a little bit. So.
Yeah. No, that's how I am about my friends dying. I'll just throw that out there.
Your friends have died?
Yeah.
Who? Like a lot of them?
Two.
In what ways? Tragic?
Yeah, they both died in the same car accident. So luckily it wasn't, like
sad.
2 different occasions.
Right.
It was like the same occasion.
Oh, that's really sad.
Yeah.
Were they like on their way to like
a wedding?
Whoa.
Week before Christmas. Oh my gosh. But no, I'll
Wow.
throw that out there sometimes just because now, it was in 2020.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so, I mean, obviously, it was very traumatic, and,
Yeah.
it's a very serious thing, but you can't always talk about things in such a serious way,
for sure.
you
You gotta laugh.
and I love the morbid humor.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my gosh,
yeah.
I love it. So, fair warning to anybody who is not a morbid humor person, this joke is gonna come across very insensitive, okay? But if you like morbid humor, stay tuned. One time, I was in the Virgin Islands. I was living it up on a beach, going through my grief, crying away. And I was really sad that day, because, hello, my friends died. Tends to be a downer.
just a little.
Just a little. So I'm in the ocean, letting it cure me of my sadness. And my roommate comes up to me, and we were just getting to know each other because I'd only been there like a week or something.
Uh-huh.
She saw that I was kind of down because I'm a pretty peppy person,
Yeah.
So she was like, what's going on? And I just said, oh, I'm just having a hard day today. I'm a little bit down. I'm just missing my friend today. And she was like, oh, I'm so sorry. And then I was like, I don't want this to sound like I'm some person that can't leave home. So I needed to clarify that I wasn't just homesick,
They did.
I was like, yeah, she died.
Oh, God.
And then she goes, oh my gosh. Because, people who haven't lost someone, genuinely
Yeah.
don't know how to react to that. She gets all serious of like, I'm so sorry. And I was like, oh, it's okay. It's all good. Actually, it was 2 friends that died. Bit of an overkill, if you ask me.
Oh, my God.
And then I went, but bum.
She said, okay.
Her eyes were so freaking wide. And I was like, oh, that joke did not land. That did not land. Sorry about that. That was insensitive.